Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. Today I wanted to talk about the new Duelists of Whirlwind full card list here, and this is definitely something that is quite unexpected, to be honest. I did not actually realize that this would be such a small set. However, there is one new card that we have to talk about first, so let's just quickly go over that and then we'll actually get to the full card list for that particular set. However, the new card we are talking about here is actually coming out in that set, so it does actually relate in some sort of manner. So, the card we're actually going to be looking at here is Speedroid Roulette. So, it's essentially a quick play spell card, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it makes sense, we are playing Speedroids after all, and you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. So, its effect reads, discard one card, roll a 6-sided die and special summon up to 2 Speedroid monsters from your hand and or deck whose total levels equal exactly the result, but their effects are negated. If you cannot, you lose life points equal to the result times 500. Now, it's kind of like a double-edged sword to a certain degree. However, with that being said, rolling a 6-sided die to determine what you could actually summon is not necessarily the worst thing, as long as you don't roll a 1. If you roll a 2, then you can summon out 2 Speedroid monsters that are level 1, and so forth with all the following numbers. You simply just have to add up the levels, and I think with Speedroids, because of their variety in numbers or levels, it definitely does give this card quite a bit of viability here. So it's not a rare thing, well, it's not a common thing at least, for you to be taking the damage as a result of that. So most of the time you definitely will be benefiting of this, but even so, you're able to special summon Speedroid monsters from your hand and or deck, which is pretty powerful, because to summon from the graveyard is something already, but to summon directly from the deck, that's a very powerful move. Even if you're negating their effects, it doesn't matter. You want to actually get more cards out on the field, and the fact that you're using one card here, plus a card that you're potentially discarding to the graveyard, which in a Speedroid deck, you're most likely fueling the graveyard anyway. To summon out 2 additional cards, it doesn't matter. It's going to be really good anyway, because let's just summon out some monsters that have graveyard effects. So you summon those monsters out, link them away or synchro summon them away, and you simply just have cards in the graveyard to actually work off with. Definitely a really good card. I think this is definitely something that you should not overlook. I think this is something that would make Speedroids very, very high up there. However, with that being said, we could finally take a look here at the complete card list for Duelists of Whirlwind. Now, the great thing I see here is that there are actually 45 cards. Now, there is a card that is listed as number 0, which is the Clearwing Synchro Dragon. So with that being said, there is technically 46 cards, but even so, 46 cards in a set is an incredibly small set. So it is going to be quite easy to obtain all of these cards if you actually need. Now, the one significant thing I actually see about this particular set itself is that you could essentially build every single one of these decks from scratch. So what this means is they have reprinted all of the old cards in this particular set, so you don't have to go out there looking for these old cards. You will actually have all of these cards in this particular set to go off with and build it, which is definitely fantastic, because a lot of these cards here are definitely very old, they're very difficult to actually obtain, and as a result they definitely have a required reprint, and thank goodness they're actually coming out in this particular set. We're looking at Speedroids here. There are a lot of cards that need reprinting, so seeing that a lot of them have actually been reprinted here is absolutely brilliant. Particularly cards like Tornbog or Terratop. They're really great cards to actually reprint for the Speedroid deck, because they're old cards, but they are pretty much essential staples for the deck itself. We also have reprints for the Fleur deck or the Chevalier deck, which is definitely fantastic as well. A lot of those old cards that came from the Synchro era, a very old era that has cards that have rarely been reprinted, so to see them actually being reprinted here is definitely quite wonderful. And of course we have the Lyrilusks as well. We are also getting some old cards, though the Lyrilusk I wouldn't say is the most difficult to actually obtain. But with that being said, let's take a look from the really quick top part and see what we actually have. So we are having a Clearwing Synchro Dragon. I am obviously going to be assuming this is most likely a Ghost Rare, otherwise it's going to be a Collector's Rare. Now in Rage of Ra we actually got a Ghost Rare, whereas in I think Genesis Impact we actually got a Collector's Rare. Now Clearwing Synchro Dragon has actually already been reprinted, or at least printed once before, as a Ghost Rare, so it does make me think I don't think it's going to be in a Ghost Rare. I think it's going to be in a Collector's Rare, and as a result of that it adds more collectability to it, and it's definitely going to be a very desired card, and I personally am looking forward to actually getting this card in a Collector's Rare if possible. However, we are getting some new cards as well, like the Party Horn Kid, the Magic Hound, the Speedroid Cork Blaster. We also have the Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon, which we talked about last time as well, definitely exciting, and we're getting the High Speedroid Clearwing Rider. And of course we have the Roulette, which we just talked about, we have Duplicate, and that's also a new card of course, but for all of these older cards that we're getting Terratops, Double Yo-Yo, Take Tomborg, Red-Eyed Dice, Den Daiko Duke, Horse-Stilts, Marbled Machine, Car Turbo, Chanbara, and even Kite Drake, which was a synchro that came out in, I forgot what set it was. It might have been Dual Overload, or was it Power Load Dual, something like that. But even so, it was one of those cards or sets that were not as desired by people, and the pulls for these weren't as easy. So seeing it being reprinted here is definitely fantastic. I know that's one of the cards I'm actually searching for to complete my deck. And we're also getting here Speed Recovery, Speed Lift, which are also reprints for it as well. All of these cards are played in Speedroids regardless, because they are considered the staples, or they make up the essential skeleton of a Speedroid deck. Sure, there are more Speedroid cards out there that actually exist, but they are not essential cards that you need to actually play in the deck here. So they give you the bare essentials with the new cards, allowing you to pretty much just build a deck right out of the box or right out of the set. Now of course, depending on the short printing and everything like that, you could always buy singles, but so far everything is looking brilliant. However, next here we also have Sage de Fleur, White Steed, Necro Synchron, Baroness de Fleur, Fleurette de Fleur, Synchro Dilemma, Revered Banner. All of these are the new cards, but for the reprints we are getting Sorcier de Fleur, Necro Fleur, Noble Knight Joan, Fleur Synchron, Chevalier de Fleur, all really amazing, but we're also getting here Zone and Liberty at Last, which is definitely fantastic of course. And finally, we're also getting the Lyrilusks, so we're getting the new ones, Beryl Canary, Celeste the Wagtail, Ensemble Robin, Prom Thrush, Bird Call, Bird Sanctuary, Birds of a Feather, Cobalt Sparrow, Sapphire Swallow, Turquoise Warbler, Assembled Nightingale, and Recital Starling, which is all very fantastic. So I like that this is a very condensed set, a very small set, making it easy to obtain every single card. The only issue is a matter of short printing, but also for the rarities as well. How are they actually going to work with this particular set in terms of rarity? I don't like that they just do a bunch of commons and then they put in rares and supers. I guess like it's not particularly the most desirable. I didn't like how they did things with what was the set? Genesis Impact. All of the cards were rares, and well, that was the lowest rarity, that is. And you also had your super rares and your ultra rares, which was pretty ridiculous because in a particular box you can only get 3 ultra rares at best, and several super rares as well, while the rest was just filled up with regular rares, which it was just really undesirable. A lot of the cards just didn't hold up in value, and unless you were lucky with a collector rare, you really weren't gonna gain any value out of the set or the box if you were gonna buy it. You were way better off buying singles, and that's how I feel about Genesis Impact. That's kind of how I also feel about, I guess, the Ancient Guardians as well. So definitely quite unfortunate, but what can you do about it? With this, I really hope that they actually change things up again and give us something that we could actually utilize in some sort of way, you know, something that is a lot better in terms of rarity to actually give these cards the appropriate value that they deserve. However, with that being said, definitely let me know what you guys actually think about all this. Is this actually exciting for you guys? Do you like this set? Personally, I love all the new support. I love all three of these archetypes, and I could actually see myself building all of these decks. However, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.